Hi guys, I thought we'd do an exercise on the chair today. You can actually do this exercise standing up, but what I thought I'll demonstrate it on the chair. It's a little easier. And then we can have a look at some of the details that are going on. So this is the basic exercise, and I've set my chair up at this kind of 45 degree angle, so you can take a look at it. So the arms open up, we expand. We go to the hip crease, the back widens. We lean forwards, and the tailbone energy keeps moving forwards. The quad opens and the intention comes up, and it's expanding. Okay, we widen the lower back, we lean forwards in the hip crease, then the tailbone energy extends and keeps the posture moving. The hip crease opens up, we widen the energy, we expand. We widen the lower back, then we continue the energy from the tailbone to keep the posture moving. Then we open up the hip crease and we'll close it from there. So, with this movement, what's good about it is once you're fixed in a position like this in the chair, I think it can get rid of quite a few problems that people have, because in general, what happens with the chair, you could say the chair is it allows your hips to be empty, so then your torso can move. And you notice when I'm sat down in this chair, I can lean backwards and forwards, and my back stays fairly straight. So it's just showing you when the hips are free, there's this kind of movement in the body. But as soon as you enter a Tai Chi posture, and then you're leaning forwards, the people bend, the hip stops moving, the back rounds, and then when they go to lean backwards, the chest comes up and the head goes. So it's quite interesting. You could ask yourself the question, why can you do it in a chair, and then why can't you do it when you're standing up? And there's a few different parts to that answer. One is, once you're sat in the chair, your hips are relaxed. You don't have to worry about supporting them. And then in a way, the legs are not really getting in the way. But when you stood on the feet, you use strength, it locks your hips up, and now all of a sudden you can bend the spine forwards and backwards, and it kind of, it locks you up. So sometimes I think it's a really good idea to actually do a lot of Tai Chi exercises in the chair, and see how different it feels. And then, get out, try standing up. So what we're going to look at this time, with what's going on in this posture, is some of the basic things. So we're going to use a couple of props to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the back. So I'll use a few of these props I've brought with me. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use them exactly yet, but let's say what we do. We'll sit on the bench, so you need to find yourself something solid with a nice height. And what's really important is that it's stable, and that also your thigh needs to be a little bit lower than the top of your hip. You don't want your thigh above your hip. If your thigh's above your hip, it's already going to lock you up. So this nice height, just a little bit lower. Then the lower part of the leg wants to be a nice kind of 90-degree angle, just approximately. Doesn't want to be in too much. So if we can find that nice 90-degree angle, and then also what's really important too is, if your feet are floating, you're going to lock up your lower back. So your feet have to be able to sit on that floor and feel really comfortable to relax. So what we're going to do, we're going to see how we can release the hip and look at this opening that we talk about in Tai Chi. So first thing we'll do, we'll place our elbows over our knees, and we'll have this open feeling, and we try and create this nice straight line from the sit bones to the head. So we don't want to be round when we start, we want to kind of create this line. And the first thing I want you to do, just to start feeling, is feel what happens if you put your mind into your back and then you put your mind into the skin around your back. And what I want you to do, I want you to imagine the skin widening in your back and see if you can feel it releasing the hips as you do it. So I'll just try that. I widen the skin in the back, and then I can feel the space in the elbows changing because it's releasing, and I'm sinking a little bit further into the hip crease, and then the energy's extending and opening. Okay, so this is the first stage of feeling this. So if we want to go a little bit further than that, we'll add another little bit of detail to it. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to have this idea what I've been talking about, the energy from the hips or the tailbone. It's a big, wide energy that continues in front. It's not a little narrow energy, it's big, wide, and it's continuous in front. So I'll talk you through the theory for this time. So we're going to sit in the posture, rest the elbows on the knees, and then we're going to start feeling the skin spreading out in the back, and we're going to feel the posture energetically expand, and then it's going to move a bit, we're going to get stuck. So now we're going to make the tailbone energy, imagination is going to make the tailbone energy continue as the skin widens on the back, and then you can feel this release that goes on in the lower back. So the more the tailbone energy continues and the skin widens, and the more the posture opens, this expansion you get through here with your arms and elbows, then you get this release. So this basic thing when you're doing Tai Chi, once you get to a certain level and you can get your alignments correct, you can start to feel this expansion in the body, especially in the Yang style of Tai Chi. You know, we talk a lot about expansion and concentration. And you can also look at this theory. There's quite a bit written about this kind of theory in the Wu Hao classics, where they talk about the separation of muscle, skin and bone. Or if you wanted to maybe find it somewhere else, you might find it maybe in the Bowen technique, where they move the skin about and it creates these weird releases. So when the body's really still and the mind's, and you use the mind a different way, it starts to get this kind of separation going on. So we'll just look at one other thing that I always found a little bit interesting. So in Tai Chi too, the arms have the potential to either open the body or they have the potential to lock up the body. So I'll give a demonstration of the arms locking up the body. Maybe I won't use these blocks. So what happens is, let's say in Tai Chi you want to open and reach out. You reach too much, and what happens is the shoulder becomes individualized, lifts up and leaves the spine, so it's no longer connected. It disconnects and then locks the rest of the body up. So the great way to feel this is, if you have a couple of blocks or something, or you could have a tin can, you could have anything you want really, you might have to mess with the height that you need. You know, I'll let you sort this out. And then you get these couple of blocks, and then you get your hands and you get in this position that we've been talking about. And you feel your sit bones and this extension. And if you push on the blocks, then as you push on the blocks, if you widen the skin and make the tailbone energy move and let this space open, you'll feel how it starts to release the body. So as you push and it starts to open the body, you'll feel everything expanding. So this is similar to the way you open in Tai Chi. So when you push, you don't push. Just the thought of pushing makes you actually open. And what happens is, when you do this exercise, what you can do, you can push with one hand a little bit and feel your shoulder. And as your palm opens up, you'll feel your back release. But you'll feel there's nothing really going on in your shoulder, but you'll feel this opening in the hand is releasing the lower back. So then you can see the relationship from the hand to the lower back. So yeah, these are interesting ways to explore what's actually going on in the Tai Chi posture. And I'll just show one other thing, like I think I showed earlier. It's quite easy to, when you're sat in the chair, you lean forwards and your back stays straight and you extend, whereas in the Tai Chi posture, your chest's always lifting up or it's round, and so you're actually not moving through the hips. So I hope that was helpful. Give it a shot, try it on a bench, and then see if you can stick it into your Tai Chi movements and let me know how you get on.